Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baik, saya akan memperkenalkan diri saya. Nama saya adalah Radik Darmawan. Saya adalah salah satu dosen di Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing Teknokrat, tepatnya di program studi Sastra Inggris untuk jenjang sarjana S1. Kemudian salah satu mata kuliah yang saya ampu pada program studi Sastra Inggris ini adalah mata kuliah telaah prosa, atau dalam bahasa Inggrisnya sering disebut dengan istilah prose analysis. Mata kuliah telaah prosa ini bertujuan untuk memfasilitasi mahasiswa untuk menguasai konsep teoritis, analisis karya sastra pada unsur-unsur struktural dan berbagai aspek non-sastra, dan melatih mereka untuk menganalisis karya-karya yang berbentuk prosa berbahasa Inggris. Itu adalah deskripsi singkat dari mata kuliah telaah prosa ini. Kemudian setelah mahasiswa mendapatkan mata kuliah telaah prosa selama 1 semester, maka diharapkan capaian pembelajaran mata kuliah yang dapat dicapai oleh masing-masing mahasiswa. Yang pertama, mahasiswa mampu memahami berbagai isu dalam sejumlah prosa berbahasa Inggris tentunya, dan mengapresiasinya secara universal dan komprehensif. Yang kedua, mahasiswa juga mampu memahami bahwa karya sastra memiliki makna yang luas dalam kehidupan bermasyarakat. Kemudian, materi pembelajaran di dalam mata kuliah telaah prosa ini ada kurang lebih 4 poin utama. Yang pertama adalah ruang lingkup telaah prosa. Yang kedua, definisi istilah-istilah dalam dunia sastra, khususnya yang lebih spesifik dalam dunia prosa, karena prosa adalah salah satu dari jenis karya sastra. Kemudian ruang lingkup yang ketiga adalah unsur-unsur struktural dan sosiologis di dalam prosa. Kemudian materi pembelajaran yang terakhir, yang keempat, poin yang keempat adalah simulasi desain analisis sastra dalam kajian prosa. Kemudian selanjutnya, metode pembelajaran di dalam mata kuliah telaah prosa ini adalah secara luring untuk beberapa konten mata kuliah, dan masih memungkinkan untuk dilaksanakan secara daring. Itu biasanya dalam hal penjelasan teori-teori, penjelasan definisi-definisi. Kemudian kita juga melakukan diskusi-diskusi penelaahan karya sastra dengan mahasiswa, sehingga kita bisa komunikasi tentang pendapat para mahasiswa terhadap karya sastra yang sedang didiskusikan. Kemudian untuk interaksi saya dengan mahasiswa itu bisa terjadi di dalam kelas, kemudian bisa juga terjadi melalui media pembelajaran seperti Zoom, Google Meet, dan lain sebagainya. Dan juga kita menggunakan sosial media untuk berkomunikasi seperti WhatsApp. Dan juga untuk sistem penilaian itu dilaksanakan secara tertulis, lisan, dan juga presentasi. Itu adalah perkenalan singkat tentang diri saya dan juga mata kuliah yang saya ampu. Untuk selanjutnya saya akan memberikan salah satu potongan video pengajaran dalam salah satu materi dari mata kuliah yang saya ampu, yaitu telaah prosa. Selamat menyaksikan. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Today we are going to continue our previous discussion. In the last discussion, we have already explained about the elements of plot. To review a little bit about our previous discussion, I will try to share my screen, my PowerPoint. Wait a minute. I would like to share my PowerPoint. If you have already seen my PowerPoint, please say that you have already seen this slide. Can you see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes, sir.
Everyone can see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes.
Okay. And today we are going to practice our plot discussion to the story with the title The Necklace. And last week I have already distributed the story, and I hope you have already finished reading the short story. This story is written by Guy de Maupassant. The title is The Necklace. And before we go to the story, I would like to review about the elements of plot that we have already discussed last week. The elements of plot are 5. The first one is exposition, and then the second one is rising action, and the third one is climax, and the fourth one is falling action, and then the fifth or the last element of plot is conclusion. And we have already discussed the definition last week, and today we are going to compare between these elements of plot and the story. Which part of the story belong to exposition? Which part of the story belong to rising action? Which part of the story belong to climax, falling action, and conclusion? Now we go to the next slide. The exposition. The exposition of the story is the beginning paragraph of the story. This paragraph explains the story, and after we read the beginning paragraph of the short story, we can understand that it is a story about a charming lady who is grateful, who is less grateful with her life because she lived in a poor condition. She lived with a poor husband also. This is the exposition of the story. So when we read one or two paragraphs at the beginning of the story, we can conclude about this information. And then the next one is rising action. Rising action is the point where the story is getting more interesting. Why? Because the author introduced conflict in this point. So there are several conflicts in the story of the necklace. The first conflict is when Matilda refused her husband's request to come with him to a party. Why she refused to come with her husband to a party? Because she didn't have a proper dress to wear in the party. And this situation create the conflict between Matilda and her husband. And then the first conflict stimulate the second conflict. The first conflict create the second conflict. After her husband gave a lot of money to buy a nice dress, hopefully she is eagerly come to the party with her husband, but on the contrary, she still refused to join her husband to the party. Why? Because she didn't have any jewel to wear. She has already got a nice dress, expensive dress, but she wear no jewel to the party. She doesn't feel she didn't feel confident, so she still refused her husband to come to accompany him to go to the party. That's the second conflict. And finally, this conflict lead the story into the climax. And after they have nice dress, after they borrow a necklace from their neighbor, and finally they go to the party in a confident feeling, and finally she appear attractively in the party. Maybe she is the most attractive lady in the party because of the dress and the jewelry. And finally, after the party, the necklace is gone. She lost the necklace. The necklace that she borrowed from Madame Forrester was missing. So that is the climax. That is the part of the story which has the highest tension. Why? Because it is a diamond necklace. And then the next part of the plot is falling action. Falling action here take place when Matilda and her husband had found the similar necklace to be a replacement, to replace the necklace of Madame Forrester. But although they have found the similar necklace, but the price is very expensive. This necklace cost a fortune. And finally, they tried hard to borrow money from some other people, and finally they could afford to buy the necklace and replace the necklace and return the necklace to Madame Forrester. And the conclusion, after Matilda and her husband successful to replace the missing necklace, but now they are trapped in a very big debt, and they have to work hard, extremely hard, for years to pay off the big debt that she made because of replacing the diamond necklace from the Madame Forrester. So this is the sad ending of story of the necklace. And that is the end of my slide. Maybe everyone here has something to be asked, or you have any question, you can raise your hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you have no more question, I think it's enough for the discussion this evening, and we are going to continue analyze the short story in different perspective, not only the plot, but we are going to analyze the other element of literature. I think it's enough for today. Thank you very much for your kind attention. See you next week, and good night, everyone.
Good night, sir.
Close the Zoom.
Good night,
Thanks, sir.
sir.
Good night. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
sir.